You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Ian. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream. This is AFTERBUZZ TV for Glee. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Glee news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AFTERBUZZ TV for Glee.
Hello, y'all. I'm Taylor Swift with my partner Eloise. No, I'm Roxy Striar, co-host Sarah Stratton, who looks like Eloise at the Plaza tonight. And in the booth, we have the wonderful DJ Jesse Janity. What's up?
What up, AFTERBUZZers?
And Gleek fans out there tonight, what are we thinking about the episode? What do you think, Sarah?
Overall, I wasn't extremely thrilled.
I was so 50-50 on this.
A lot of the music kind of bothered me.
Okay, but I kind of agree, but at the same time, I didn't think the episode was mediocre. I thought half of it was unbelievable, and half of it sucked. It was so inconsistent. Some of the songs, we looked at each other and we're like, what the hell?
Why is this being sung?
Okay, so that brings us to our first topic, talking about Sam and his re-entrance with his first song,
Red Solo Cup.
Red Solo Cup.
While they drank Martinelli's.
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about him coming back at least. Okay. What do we think about him coming back onto the show? In general, is this a good move?
I think it is a good move, especially because it creates some tension with Mercedes.
Right.
And like her love life, which always is a little interesting. And he has so many connections to all the girls in the group. And I really like him because he's different than Puck, and he still has that like sex appeal, but he's nice.
It's so strange though when they were thinking, oh, we need to win this. Who can we get back to win this? How can we win this competition? Was Sam ever that talented? He's cute, trouty mouth, miss him, but
I remember him being threatening to Finn, but Finn seems to be threatened by everyone.
Yeah, he's very self-conscious.
But he was never like the solo guy who like held the show. Like I wouldn't put him anywhere near on the same level as Blaine.
Oh yeah, as Blaine or Jesse St. James.
Nothing.
Even as Finn, no, definitely not.
I would put him at the same level as Finn, but I don't think Finn's like star quality.
You didn't see last week's episode where Finn sung an octave lower, and that's where he needs to be. He's incredible like that, but when they push him too much, no. But okay, so Sam's back. We're happy he's back just as a character. And he is a stripper at a women's club. Seems like an over 40s women's club. It's like a gentleman's club, but
for women.
The opposite. And he wears a construction worker hat and
he's
overalls.
named like white
meat or something.
Or it's like
white chocolate.
White chocolate. There we go.
He was quite some white chocolate there. Something about him looked way more sexy this episode.
His lips looked different.
Yeah, they looked small, less trouty mouth.
Pinker or something. I don't know.
Maybe
his mouth looked different.
Maybe they took out some of his lips. Like he's the only person I've ever seen before that I was like, those lips would not be fun to kiss because they would just smush you. Like they're so large.
Oh, I'd be totally down to kiss him. I think he's really
trouty
cute.
mouth?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know.
I mean,
I just don't do blondes, right, Jesse?
Correct.
Because I'm a brunette.
I know. I've heard this argument multiple times.
It happens all the time. I bring it up, I know, but he's just not my type. You think he's cute?
I think he's cute, yeah.
Do you think he's cute with Mercedes?
No.
So Mercedes has this boyfriend.
Mercedes is too sassy for him.
Okay, but
like
they had the summer
fling.
fling.
She needs someone who's like aggressive and manly man.
Like her big football player man who we never see on the show.
I mean, I don't know him well enough to know if they're perfect together.
What I don't really understand though is he comes back and all of a sudden we haven't seen any of the storyline of them being together. We just heard they were together over summer. And now it's like the writers are expecting us to be rooting for them and want Trouty Mouth to go get Mercedes. And it's like, I never saw any chemistry between them. I don't know why I should be rooting for them.
Yeah, we knew nothing about their relationship.
Yeah.
We would randomly see them holding hands.
She
in,
never
like,
talked about
cafeterias.
him.
Yeah.
They're just expecting us to jump on the train. And I'm like, wait a second. Something's off here.
And you can see Mercedes thinking about it. She's like all happy that he's like back, and
yeah,
she doesn't even seem to really be caring about her boyfriend.
I would like to see him more. Maybe he sucks. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe we like him better.
I don't know.
I'm not sure either. I don't know. But okay, so he's back and he seems to be getting along well with everybody, and he brings this whole new sex appeal to the New Directions. Okay, that's what it's supposed to be.
It wasn't there.
His body roll was more like I'm doing the robot.
It was horrible.
It was so
wasn't fixed at all.
awkward.
And like I was expecting like this big, huge, like almost like really risque sexual number, and it wasn't like at all sexual to me.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely get there talking about the competition, but just him in general, when he came back and was like doing this hip roll thing and trying to look sexy and make sexy eyes, I was like, oh, you look awkward, honey. Oh, no. It's like clearly they wrote this storyline before they asked him to dance and then saw him try to do these moves and were like, okay, I guess that's going to have to work. Because if you notice, the camera cuts away from him as quick as they can every single time he starts like sexily rolling his body.
He probably felt so uncomfortable or something because it was
really
just like
awkward.
Unbearable to watch almost.
Seriously, but he has a fine voice and fine stage presence, I guess.
Which was not put to good use in this episode.
No, definitely not. My red solo cup was not feeling it. That's what I'm saying. I don't like when they do things like that for red solo cup, or like when they did last Friday night and they're not at a party. It's awkward. Like, you're singing about raging and you're in school
chilling.
It's awkward. Glee usually tries to take these songs and incorporate them into what they're actually doing, unless it's a competition. But here they're just sitting around the piano singing about drinking from the red solo cup.
And they're drinking their Martinellis.
Really awkward.
Apple cider.
Okay, let's move on to talk about a sad storyline that actually ends up being okay between Tina and Mike and Mike's dad. So we see a few episodes back that Mike's dad finds out that he's in the school musical and practically disowns him for it, says, no, you're going to be a doctor, that's your path, even though Mike's mom's okay with it. And Mike is devastated over it, and finally this episode we see him be like, you know what, I haven't spoken to my dad in so long, it's not worth it to me to lose my family member in order to follow my passion, I can't do this.
And he also goes so far to say maybe we shouldn't even be together to Tina.
Maybe we shouldn't be together because she's pushing him to do it. What do we think about this concept of family versus passion? And when it actually happens like this, I mean, you hope that your parents support you no matter what you do. But especially in the arts or in any sort of occupation that
isn't as stable,
isn't stable, is a risk. You hope that they support you, but sometimes they don't. And so what do you do?
And that is so difficult when they don't, or when you have someone constantly telling you, like, well, I want you to this school, especially if like it's your parents and they're going to pay for it or whatnot.
Yeah.
And if they're like, no, you need to be doing this because this is what we're going to support, that makes things so difficult. Because every single decision you make, they can throw it back, well, you could have been doing this. And I think it's so much harder to say that I'm going to follow my passion against your parents versus against your friends or anything like that. Like, your parents have so much power over, like, people always want to please their parents. And even if you think, like, I want my passion to not feel like you're living up to what they want you to be, when I feel like a lot of kids strive to do that.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
So do we think it's unfair that Tina says, listen, then your dad's right. If you're not going to drop your family, if you're not going to drop everything for this, then you aren't dedicated enough, is basically what she tells him. If you aren't willing to risk everything and lose everything, then you're not a real artist and you can't become a dancer. You're not passionate enough or willing enough. Do we think that is appropriate for her to say? Is that true about an artist, or is that unfair because he has so much pressure on him?
I think there's a truth to it to a certain extent. Yeah.
Right.
Just because for all those, there's so many risks involved that if you're not willing to take the first one, you're probably not gonna take like any. Like, when's the point that you step up and say, well, this is where I'm putting my whole heart and all my effort?
Right.
Like, it's such a competitive business that for most people, it only comes out of years and years of hard work and
Right.
years and years of giving something up before you make it or anything like that.
There are so many people out there who want it more than anything and would give up everything else, friends, family, girlfriends, boyfriends, anything it takes, that it's hard to be competing with those people
if you're not.
if you're not the same way. So I get what she was saying, but at the same time, I feel like it's a hard way. It was not the right way to go about the lesson, because instead of being like, listen, this is what you want to do, let's make it work, she's like kind of condescending towards him in a way, you know, which is not what would be, I wouldn't receive that well at all. So I understood what she was saying, but that was kind of harsh. But in the end, I guess it works out because she's pushing him and pushing him. He's not doing anything about it. And finally, she goes to his father and says, listen, this is your kid's life. This is what he's amazing at. You have to support him. He is about to drop out, and he's going to be dying inside every day. So what if he makes it as a successful doctor? So what if he takes that path? If he's unhappy, he's nothing. And we don't think the dad understands. He says, you're going to go through a lot of heartache too. That's what artists do. You never know. It could not work out for you. And then he shows up to the show, which was just like this gut-wrenching moment in the best way possible. I mean, it like hit me at my very core. I was very lucky to have supportive parents who came to see all my shows and always have, but there, of course, are your friends that don't have the same parents. And it's like, for somebody to actually be so set in their ways and to come and to show up and to support him, I thought that was incredible. Realistic? I don't know.
Well, it wasn't. He didn't show up to West Side Story, so I think they
That's true.
needed him to show up to this one.
That's true. And then what did you think about the conversation he had with them afterwards?
The thing that was sticking out to me during that conversation is just that, like, Tina was so involved after she'd been put down so much by Mike Chang. Like, how he, like, told her he didn't want to kind of be with her. He, like, scolded her for going to his dad. And he's, like, just been so negative
You think she should have been more pissed? Or
I mean,
what?
I was just surprised that it was so, like, she was just standing by him through, like, just kept standing by him when they never really had, like, a fight or, like,
Right.
him saying sorry really to her until after his dad had accepted it.
Because if he hadn't, you think that Mike was in the wrong for treating her that way?
I think that, like, there was apologies in order, not necessarily that he was wrong, but just that they needed to make up. Because I don't think it would have been that, like, we're fine, even though I told you we maybe shouldn't be together.
I thought that was actually really awesome of her, though, that she stood by him and was like, you know what? He's going through something rough. He's taking it out on me because he loves me. He even says it at the end, I love you more than anything, to her. And I think that's what girlfriends and supportive girlfriends especially should do.
I agree. I just think that there should have been some
Reconciliation. Even after that, him saying, even if after they did that and they hugged, whatever, and he said, I'm so sorry for the way I treated you. I'm so lucky to have somebody like you or something like that. I know what you mean. Because I wanted that too, definitely. But what about the applications? That was amazing. So above and beyond.
crazy.
I can't believe she did that.
I'm guessing, like, well, she mentioned the videos, but how did she film videos of him dancing?
He probably still has to go audition. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like that, but just the preliminary applications, I bet that's awesome. I would be so freaking stoked. He probably is on cloud 9 right now, thinking that finally Dad let something happen and that you couldn't do it because you missed a deadline. Like, that would absolutely suck. I'd be pissed, but good girlfriend.
You go,
Tina.
She got like a gold star in the girlfriend department this week. She did everything.
Round of applause for Tina. Okay, so let's talk about the competition a little bit. Trouble Tones versus New Directions.
Versus the Unitards?
The Unitards, which was led by the Gerber Baby, who we originally saw at the hotel in the NIADA auditions or the practice for that, something like that.
Yes.
Okay, so just talking about the Unitards for a second, they sang a Madonna song. That's what
Like
it
the
was.
Star Power of Buenos Aires.
Yeah, and we were bored. I was bored. Were you bored?
I was so bored. I think
Was
I
that the
looked at
point?
you and was just like, this can't win. Like, if they had made that win, I would have been like, this is not okay.
The thing that always gets to me, though, that I think is so bizarre is when they pan to the audience, how they react to it, and everybody was like, oh, that was so good.
Oh yeah, especially when they're pointing to people in New Directions.
Yeah.
Who are like, oh, we should be
no.
scared. And I'm like,
What? That was horrible.
this is awful. Like, you have no reason to be scared. I'd be going like, we've got this.
It was a one-woman show, first of all, which is what we learned doesn't work very well. And it wasn't entertaining. I like the song in real life. It seemed so slow and dragged out.
It was not fun to watch at all.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
I didn't even think she was that good in it. And I think she is good.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't think she carried it very well. Okay, but then we go to the treble tones, and how did we think they did?
I thought that their mashup was fantastic.
Yeah.
The singing was great.
They sang Survivor, Destiny's Child, and I Will Survive. So,
Or did they start with Respect?
no, I think it was just I Will Survive.
Oh, maybe. I think you're right. But I just remember being like, this is like, when they changed songs, like it was seamless. Like sometimes I wouldn't even realize that we were like in the next song until like
incredible.
5 seconds in. It was so good.
I was sitting there saying, wow, they really killed this. Good job. I didn't know they were doing a mashup. That's amazing. I thought they killed it.
Except for the dancing, though. You made a couple of comments on the dancing.
The vocals sounded awesome. The dancing was really awkward.
A lot of like hands that were like
weird. It seemed very Lady Gaga-esque, like angular and bizarre poses, but it wasn't. They weren't in sync. So it just looked kind of sloppy. It was a lot of like
throwing your hands around at like different beats.
Definitely. It looked very sloppy because I don't think everybody is a star 10 dancer. And so it kind of looked like off.
I don't even think it was supposed to be at certain times.
Really?
I just remember watching their hands and like all of them, it just looked like they were like flicking their wrists. And it wasn't like even like on a beat.
Choreographed. I didn't know if it was just people. It looked like the Monster Mash.
I don't think they were doing anything wrong. I think that's what they were told to do, and it just happened to look bad.
But honestly, if all of the performances were blind performances, I thought that they won.
Oh, completely.
I thought they killed it.
I think that even with watching the performances, I would probably put them as winning.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but maybe. Okay, so then we see the New Directions. Who sang three songs. It wasn't a mashup at all. It was three separate songs. We started with Jackson 5, moved to Janet Jackson, ended with Michael Jackson. So I understand the way that the artistic connection, yeah, but you can't just do that. You're asked to perform and you do 3 separate songs
with like dead space in between.
Exactly. It was really I can't believe that wasn't addressed at all. They had 10 times the amount of time that anybody else had. Okay, so those 3 songs, we had Control, ABC, and Man in the Mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which one do we like the best out of these 3? What were you feeling? Were you feeling any of them? All of them?
I didn't think any of them were completely amazing. Like, I remember, like, thinking for a couple of minutes, like when Man in the Mirror started and they were all on the line and the lights were going up, I was like, oh, this could be really good.
Yeah.
And, like, when they brought in the back and it was, like, that choir-esque sound in the background, I thought, oh, that's cool. But it was only moments in each song where I was like, this is cool. And then I remember being like, this is repetitive.
Yeah, totally.
Like, in Control especially and in ABC, like, they were doing the same dance moves, even though in ABC they were really good dance moves, but it was just the same thing. It was repetitive. It was kind of boring. I was like, if you had made this maybe a mashup or added something different, it would have been really fun. But it was long and it wasn't amazing. And to me, in the shorter time, the treble tones did so much better.
100%,
and if they had done 3 songs, like,
they would have killed it. Am I the only one who thinks that ABC is kind of a cop-out? It's like it's such a okay. And I'm really shocked because, well, I guess we'll get to it in news and gossip, but I'm pretty shocked that they chose Michael Jackson songs. And 3 songs in that realm. We'll get to that. But anyway, so I thought that their performance, their dancing was okay. Sam's weird sexual dancing was awkward again. Their vocals sounded good. The thing I liked the most about this was we heard Tina, we heard Mike, we heard Artie, all people we haven't heard in a really long time. We hear Finn, we hear Sam, we hear was there any Puck? We hear Quinn.
There just wasn't any like big.
It was an ensemble
piece. It was completely evenly split.
So I thought it was very good to show the panel that, listen, every one of us is talented. None of us are backup singers. We can all be frontmans in this group. And that's why I think they won. That's why I think I also would have picked them to win. But if it was a completely blind thing, I don't know.
I'm still with the Treble Tones. I think that
Really?
they put in way more, and their entire, besides the awkward dance moves at parts, their entire number was like so exciting, and like I wanted to hear them keep singing. Versus when I watched the other group, I just was like, I was entertained for the first couple seconds, and then
Yeah.
I was like, okay, are you gonna add something new? Okay, why is this song going on so long? Oh, we're going into another song. This is okay. Oh, this is taking too long. Like, I was not thrilled by it at all.
Wait, so I know that you, after watching the performances, wanted the Treble Tones to win, but did you want them to win the competition regardless of their... What did you think? Who did you want going in?
I kind of knew. I mean,
That New Directions would
you
win?
knew that they were going to, especially
yeah.
when they walked in and were like, oh, by the way, if the Treble Tones walked in, where they're like, if we win this or when we win this, you guys are welcome to join our group. When they said that, I knew that New Directions was going to win.
That was really rude. And I thought it was actually my favorite line of the episode after that, though. I think Finn says, that was really disrespectful. And Santana goes, no, disrespectful will be if I followed you around and every time you took a step, I played the tuba. That was awesome. What an insult. The girl's crazy. Or when Sam came back to school, she's like, I wrote you something.
And she whipped out like the whole book of just insult after insult. That was good.
Hysterical. He's like, I miss you too. She kills it for me, though. And I didn't even mention that during their song. Santana has such stage presence that I don't even, when she gets on, I'm like, boom, baby. Like, you kill it for me every single time.
Yeah.
Does everybody feel that way?
I really like Santana.
I've
love
always
her. Liked her. In her performance, she's just like so, she can dance and she can sing and
Yeah, she does
she's
it for
good.
me. I actually...
She's like the badass Rachel Berry.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally. And everybody likes Mercedes the most I feel like out of the Trouble Tones, everybody's always rooting for Mercedes. I am always rooting for Santana, and she's a complete bitch. But I like her. She's the badass.
I don't always like her plot lines, but I love her performances.
Really? I like her plot lines, too. I mean, she's a bitch. You're a bitch. I'm a bitch.
But she has a troubled past. That's why I'll give her plot lines an excuse, because we're supposed to feel like, okay, she's going through stuff. That's why she's a bitch. We don't really know.
But like,
Santana.
what about the whole like lesbian plot line?
Well, so this is the thing with that. I don't think that I'm kind of upset with. It's random to me. Like, I just don't
random to
get
me,
why
too.
Glee brought that in. It's like
But
you're
yeah.
throwing so much gay towards us with Chris's character. It's just like, I understand we want to bring, equality and all that stuff, but it didn't make sense with Brittany.
It didn't
Santana.
fit like my impression of either of those characters,
Me
so
either.
I didn't like it.
At all. It still doesn't. It's still awkward. Like when they did the Someone Like You.
Or when
to
they
me-
keep going.
Yeah, when they did the Someone Like You, to me that was weird. It's just like, okay, I don't believe Britney's even into this. Santana, I could see like the type of girl that will experiment. But like for her to be like full like, no, I'm a lesbian, I don't believe it. I don't buy it. I believe that she like thinks it maybe, but will overcome it one day.
I'm really, really with you.
I'm so on the opposite page, and here's why. Because originally I was completely with you guys. I was like, where did they just throw this lesbian story out of? I don't really know what's going on. I see chemistry between Santana and Brittany like crazy. I think that the actresses are killing it right now, and every time their hands touch or every time that Brittany does something and Santana gets excited about it, it's so sweet to me that I'm not thinking of them as lesbians. I think they're in love with each other. I think that's what it is.
See, I don't see that they're in love with each other.
No?
Especially on Britney's end.
Yeah, Brittany's less so. I don't think that Brittany is a lesbian. I think that she loves Santana and is confused about what that means. I do think that Santana is doing a really good job playing this off. And I didn't like the storyline at first, but I think it's important to acknowledge that to love a human being. I mean, I don't think that they try to play like the gay card all the time here at all. I think it's about loving a person, not just regardless of their sex.
I'm like fine with wanting to take that theme. I just don't think that when they've introduced Santana as like that was her new thing, I didn't believe it. I didn't see it, and I felt like she had to like now it's getting better because I think she's like accepted it as the actress and has been able to grow with it. But to me, it wasn't there, so it got brought out of nowhere, and now she's having to like find it.
Become it, which
Yes.
which does make sense because that's what you do
As
in
an
high
actress
school.
or-
Not even just as a person coming into your sexuality.
Yeah, and that's...
However, The one thing that gets me with it is I definitely don't feel it from Brittany. I don't get it from Brittany. With Brittany, I feel like it's forced. But with Santana, I was with it because I do think it's an important storyline, but I don't like the fact that she's like put a stamp on it. Like I like the fact that she, you know what I mean, like wants to explore it and that, but the fact that she's like fully said like, no, this is who I am.
Yeah,
and I still feel her chemistry with guys. I like still feel it when she's on screen sometimes.
I kind of know what you mean. I think she's just a very sexual person, but the reason I think I like it is because Kurt not decided he was gay, but Kurt knew he was gay and then came out and said he was gay and then found Blaine. Santana found Brittany and then knew she was gay.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? And I do think it's very possible that we've never seen Santana attracted to another girl ever, and we've never seen Brittany attracted to another girl. So it is very possible that they're not attracted to other women, just each other. Even though you're right, I don't see it on Brittany's end as much. Santana does a way better job with it. But I think that that's interesting to think about because it does happen both ways. I mean, I didn't say I'm straight and then start looking for guys. I found the first guy I loved and then realized I was straight. You know what I mean? I think that's probably more realistic how it happens for a lot of people. 50-50. I think it could go both ways. You know what I mean?
I would just appreciate the show more if... Because even with Brittany, even when she was like crushing on Artie, like I didn't buy that at all either. Like to me, that was just as fake as the her and Santana thing.
Yeah, I would agree.
To me, what I would really want to see out of Glee is her coming into it and saying and realizing what you said, like, I'm not in love with other girls, I'm in love with Brittany, because when it comes down to it, as a person, she's been there through everything for me.
Yeah.
Because we've seen she's had such troubled times with guys.
Right.
With,
and I think that can happen
Finn,
for people.
Right.
You get screwed by so many guys and you fall in love with somebody else. And,
Exactly.
And she happens to be a girl.
Exactly. And so I would really like it if Glee had that kind of an aha moment with her character.
Yeah, 100%.
Then all this stuff would make more sense to me. But I'm still kind of leaning more towards you, Sarah, with it's just kind of random. It's missing a piece of the puzzle.
Hopefully we'll get there. I would love if Glee did that. That would be excellent. What song could they use for that?
We'll have to
think about it and get back to it next week. Okay, so anyway, we see that the New Directions does win, whether we thought they would, wanted them to, whatever. And
knew they would.
Then, right before the competition, Quinn goes to tell Principal Figgins that Shelby and Puck are sleeping together. Rachel Berry stops her and says, listen, don't do this. At least wait until after the competition.
It's the adult thing to do.
It's the
Think
adult
about
thing
your
to do.
friends who want to perform.
Right. So she does. So Quinn waits. And then she waits and she waits. And then she doesn't do it. And I thought this was really interesting. Quinn is so up and down, and you never know if her changes are permanent. And she's had so many arcs, and I just don't really know with her. But I thought this was a very mature thing of her to do, to realize who's benefiting from me telling Principal Figgins that they've slept together, except for myself. And she wouldn't really be benefiting because then her biological daughter would get screwed. So I thought this was really mature of her, and I was kind of surprised. What did you think?
I thought it was good, and my favorite moment was actually when Quinn goes to tell Rachel in the office that she's decided she's not going to do this, and she thanks her, and she's like, I would have really regretted this for, like, forever. So I guess this means we're, like, friends. Or Rachel says, so I guess we're friends now. I really liked it. And
what did Quinn say? Kind, sort of, or
something.
Something like.
But they've, like, acknowledged that through this, they've, like, gotten to this friendship of, like, everything they've been through. And I really like that culminating moment. And overall, with Quinn not telling Figgins, it was kind of expected. Like, it was just going to be, like, what was going to happen if they didn't. I think that I like Shelby on the show. So I thought it's good it's good that there's, like, this other teacher who's, I don't even know how to describe her, besides Sue. Instead of, like, just Sue and, do you know what I mean?
There's this other adult that what?
Like, there's this other, like, adult that has, like, purpose in the show. Like, they have so many few, like, it's always Sue and
Coach, Beast, Matthew Morrison.
But I don't even see Beast in that much. Like, she is, but she's becoming more, I don't know. Whenever I think of the show, I only think of the kids and Sue.
So you like Shelby?
Yes.
Okay.
I like Shelby because I think she's this other figure that adds in more drama and adds in something besides the Sue rivalry with the Glee Club.
Okay. Yeah, I totally see what you're saying.
So I didn't want her to kick them off because of sleeping with Puck.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Okay, but then we also see Quinn do another great thing. She goes and she talks to the Trouble Tones in the bathroom, or at least she talks to Brittany and Mercedes and Santana, and is like, listen, I've got this deal for you. You guys come back to us, and you guys can perform every competition. And we don't know if they're going to agree. And then they do, because we see them come in, and this is my favorite part of the episode. Okay, just a little backstory. I have been listening to this song.
Which is?
It's by Fun, called We Are Young. I listen to it 60 times a day. No joke. Every time I wake up, in between all my classes, when I'm showering, when I'm doing my homework, anytime I'm sad, anytime I'm happy, I put on the song and I'm like, this is the best song. I tweeted about it a week ago. If anybody wants to look at my Twitter, Roxy Striar, you can see I actually tweeted the song, writing, listening to on repeat, you should be too. It's so good. And none of my friends have known it. And I've showed it to everybody this week. And I've called everybody and sent out a text message being like, know the song. And then they sang it tonight. And it was like, no shit. Like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this. It was like, oh my God, it's perfect. And the Trouble Tones walk back in and everybody's happy again. Yeah, it's so good. Oh, so good. And the chorus is even better. You have to get there. Jesse's like, I don't know if I like it yet.
I really like it.
Just wait. It gets to be so good. Okay. Anyway, this song, no, you have to keep it playing.
Keep playing it.
Okay. It's so good. And they played, and everybody smiled, and they circled up, and it was like this feel-good moment. And I was like, well, I didn't know about this episode, but Glee does this for me recently. I'll be like, it's an okay episode. It's good. I'm sticking with it. And then, boom, at the end. Ready? Here we go. I feel like
I'll carry you home.
It's so good.
I really like it. I've heard this song though.
I
P.S.
must have
If
played
you
it for
haven't heard it or seen the video's kind of cool.
Oh,
Check
we'll
it
watch
I'm
it
so
after
excited
this.
right now. Oh, it's one of those feel-good songs. It's like, you're right, I am young, and I'm gonna burn this
song
down.
almost made me cry.
No,
I was
almost.
Like,
you started tearing. Sarah
I'm
starts
tearing
crying.
now.
I look at her. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I'm just so happy. I'm young and listening. And I'm like,
It brought in
That's
so
kinda
many memories. I'm tearing again. Oh goodness. I really like this song.
well, I
guess.
think we're gonna have to cut to commercial, and then we can come back and get some news and gossip while Sarah cries her eyes out in the bathroom.
Wait, I missed the song.
AfterBuzz TV.
Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
Wait, okay, so I just have to read this. My roommate just sent me a text message saying, "Oh my God, this mashup of the Trouble Tones, unreal. I feel like a survivor." Okay, thank you, Lindsay, for that.
Thank
There
you,
we
Lindsay, for that amazing.
Exactly. So can we have some news and gossip following that, please?
Sure.
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, so during an interview on last night's Jimmy Kimmel Live, Matthew Morrison confirmed earlier rumors that the Fox musical series would welcome its hairiest guest star yet, Chewbacca of Star Wars. We called up George Lucas and he gave us Chewbacca. Matthew, who directs the December 13th Christmas episode, confirmed there is only one guy who can officially be Chewbacca, and he lives in Northern California, and they flew him in. As for how the Wookiee will factor into the episode, co-star Harry Shum Jr. said, he makes an appearance into Artie's dream in a way I can't really delve into the details, but it's something to do with Artie. Chewbacca isn't the only one getting the Glee treatment. Word is the Fox musical dramedy is set to pay tribute to Michael Jackson through his music. The series has veered away from the tribute episodes this season, but it's making an exception for the late pop king of pop. The episode is set to air in late January, that's January 24th of 2012, and will feature a whopping 10 to 12 songs. Wow. From Michael Jackson's library. The episode is expected to start production this Friday, but with holiday break coming up, it will most likely finish shooting early next year.
Okay, so the question is, who are we more excited for, Chewbacca or MJ?
I mean, you don't understand how much I have a love of Star Wars, and I love Chewbacca, and I want him to be my best friend. So
You know, we named my dog Chewbacca, Chewie, and everybody says Wookiee.
Well, here's the thing about Michael Jackson. I feel like we've had how many tributes to Michael
That's
Jackson
why I don't
on
get
Glee?
it. And they played 2 Michael Jackson songs tonight. They sang 2
I
songs.
think they're going to connect it to this. They're going to be like, we won this as sectionals. Why don't we win this with
But
nationals?
10 to 12 songs from
I
Michael
bet it's
Jackson.
a mashup, and they
And we've-
feature those songs.
And we've done the Thriller. The Super Bowl was Thriller.
Yeah, we've done a lot. I don't really know why. I mean, I called this so long ago that I was like, they've got, like, once I did the Fleetwood Mac Rumors album, I was like, the next album they do or next person they're paying tribute to is definitely Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
For sure, because I feel like it's such a cop-out. That's why I loved when they did Fleetwood Mac, because there's so many people in our generation who don't know Rumors, the album, and the songs are incredible. Everyone knows Michael Jackson. Everyone knows every song, every single word. Yeah, it's going to be a good episode. Yes, I'll be able to sing along. I'm sure I'll laugh. I'm sure I'll love it. But it's so typical. I feel like
And not only
But I
that,
feel
but
like it's kind of needed. Like,
I just don't
you
think
need
this
to do it.
season then, or it should have been done like, cause look at what they've done. They've done the Fleetwood Mac one. They did Madonna. They did Britney
Britney.
Spears.
Gaga.
They
Gaga.
kind of did a Lady Gaga. That one wasn't really like to me a full. They
West Side Story.
They dressed like it, but in each one of those episodes, like the Britney Spears one, it was all about like sex education and the way they had them all dressed up and playing the parts. It was like the music videos.
Yeah.
The Madonna one was like, well, you know, Madonna stood up for rights and
And the
things like that.
cheerleaders came in and did it too.
Yeah.
You know, so then it's like, well, where are you gonna go with a Michael Jackson tribute?
What-
Like,
what's the-
is it gonna be blatant? Like,
Child
it's Michael
molestation.
Jackson? Well, no, whoa. Is it gonna be?
Whoa, you went to bleep me out.
Is it? But is it like gonna be like I don't want them to like fully be like it's Michael Jackson Day, and then that's why we're doing 10 to 12 songs.
You want them to have a message.
Yeah, because I liked it. Like the Britney Spears one, it was all about sex. Like it was about
Yeah.
sex
their
education.
sexuality and
Yeah.
And that's how they brought her into it. For Madonna, it was women empowerment. Lady Gaga, it was about being creative and being yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I want with, if they're going to do the Michael Jackson thing,
So
want
that could be
something like
about
that.
being yourself and being different no matter what
well,
somebody
we've
says
already
you are.
done that.
Yeah, okay, so what else could it be?
No idea.
No idea.
Like,
Yeah.
that's why I'm more interested in the Chewbacca one, because, like, really, Chewie
Yeah.
and Artie?
In Artie's dream, like, why is Artie dreaming about Chewie?
I'm excited.
I don't know, bizarre.
I have no idea what that could possibly
We're
be.
gonna have to wait and see.
All right, so Leah Michelle's date for the premiere of her new movie, New Year's Eve, was her gay best friend and sometimes Glee co-star hottie Jonathan Groff, aka Jesse St. James. Michelle tweeted earlier in the night, "On my way to the premiere, have the most handsome date with me tonight, Mr. Jonathan Groff."
I feel like they have a really good friendship.
I love when coworkers are friends.
And they've been coworkers for a long time.
Yep, and it makes me really happy. And he's an asshole on the show, so to know that he's a sweetheart, or that at least she thinks he's a sweetheart, and he is sexy as hell.
Who are we talking about?
Jesse St. James, he's the one who was the lead of the
Vocal
adrenaline.
Okay,
you know?
And then he came to
yep,
New
And him and Rachel have a
Direction.
thing on the show.
Yeah.
And
And before
whatever.
that, they were in Spring Awakening
Okay,
together.
needed
I didn't know he was gay, and it
I'm
kind
on
of
it.
crushed my dreams. Because he's so cute.
Anyone who sings and dances just kind of have
That's
that in
not
the back.
true.
I know.
Don't tell me that.
Well, as if we didn't have enough reasons to be jealous of the beautiful and talented Leah Michele, now she
Yeah.
gets to fondle hunky Mark Salling. Leah basically rubbed it in our faces that her hands have been south of Salling's border. But was it due to a Rachel and Puck romance reunion? Leah was just investigating Mark's recent... Wait a minute.
No,
Excuse me.
no, it wasn't.
No, Leah was just investigating Mark's recent injury. Oh, he did hurt himself, Michelle tells us. He couldn't sit and he's carrying around one of those donut pillows that pregnant women wear. And I was like, let me see. I touched his butt, ladies. Get excited. I swear.
I am
One butt
excited.
cheek is so much bigger than the other. I was like, Mark, oh my gosh, you're really like hurt. But then I just kept touching his butt all day long.
I mean, I would do that too. Any excuse to touch his butt. I'm there. He's cute.
Yes.
I've heard.
Somebody here is a good friend of his at AfterBuzz, and we're gonna
We're gonna
get
try
him
and get
in
him
here, and I'm gonna
Okay.
touch his butt. Be like, I heard you had an injury last week. Can I feel?
There you go.
So stay tuned, guys. We'll have Mark right here.
Hell yeah.
Butt cheeks facing the cam, and y'all will be able to check out Mark's butt. AfterBuzz
Sounds
TV
good.
exclusive.
That would be
All
exclusive.
right, and that's your AfterBuzz TV news and gossip for Glee of the week of December 6, 2011.
I want to be here for that.
When Mark's here.
For the butt.
For the
Now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Okay, so the next episode's a Christmas special. It seems a little early to me. Are we?
Well, they probably have their big break.
Yeah,
So
they're
I'm guessing next week's the last week for a while.
for a while. Yeah, it looks like that. So Rachel and Finn are exchanging lists of what they want, and Finn says, "All I want is you," and Rachel's like, "All I want is you too," and five things
so
on this list.
that's what the song is going to be next week.
Yeah. But we have a Santana solo next week too. I know a couple different Christmas songs that we're excited for. I like holiday episodes.
I love holiday songs. I love Christmas songs, so I hope it's really chock full of
They
holiday
said that they're
songs.
doing their Xmas special, and we keep seeing Sue's face pop up, but I didn't know what she was doing. Any predictions?
Maybe she's coming back,
As the
fighting for
Grinch?
Seriously.
She already did that.
Right.
No, coming back.
Oh, I was gonna say she's coming back to fight for Beast Man.
Beast's Man. Cooter is his name, which makes me laugh every time. Nobody else thinks that's funny? No?
think
Oh,
it's
no
funny.
takers? Okay. Predictions on the Britney being president and on Bert being congressman?
Brittany's nothing's gonna happen. It's gonna be bad.
We didn't see that at all this episode.
Is Mercedes gonna get back together with Sam?
Yeah, just because we haven't seen anything at all from the other character. I don't even know Mercedes' boyfriend's name.
Me neither. I just know he's a big football dude.
Yeah, I call him Big Black Football Player. I don't know. And he's getting recruited to go somewhere else, and good riddance. I don't really care. But it's not like I'm like, yes, end up with Sam. I'm like,
I don't really care for them together.
I like
that much.
Mercedes as independent woman. You know, she's like, I'm an independent woman. And now she's not. What? Laugh at me all you want, Eloise.
I think Eloise is a little blonde child.
She is. Eloise at the plaza.
How do I remind you
'Cause
of
you're
a
so,
little
like,
blonde child?
You're so Eloise today. Oh, Eloise. Ring your little bell. And I'm like, what you want over there? And I think we need to wrap this episode up. Okay, no more predictions.
There we go.
I'm going a little psycho here. Okay, so that's all, and we will see everybody next week for the Christmas special. So that we'll be in good spirits. Maybe we'll even give each other little presents. Oh, so cute. Goodbye, Gleeks.
We could have stockings.
Oh yeah, definitely.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.